engine we adore is a really useful engine, you know. 'Cause the fat controller, he told him so. Now he's got a punchline to call his very own. He's the really useful engine we adore. He's the one. He's the number one. Thomas the Tank Engine. He's the really useful engine we adore.
Connor and Keelan are both fast streamlined engines who came from the mainland, whose job is to take passengers to and from the mainland. And as streamlined engines, of course, they're always seen pulling coaches, and were never seen pulling any goods trains. Until one day, as Connor and Caitlin were hanging out near Vickerstown Station, Tom had a right to see them. A goods train needs to be taken from Bradford all the way here to Vickerstown, and I need one engine to do so. And that would be you, Connor. Connor gasped. Me, sir? But I never pulled a goods train before. Can't you let someone else do it besides me? So Tom has shook his head. No, Connor, I'm sorry, but you're the only engine available for the job. Max Monty laughed. Well, what do you know? A streamlined engine? About to pull a goods train? How ridiculous. Now that's gonna be the most embarrassing thing as well, along with ridiculous, agreed Monty. Connor had heard about Max and Monty saying about him pulling a goods train. This made him feel embarrassed and ashamed. Don't listen to them, consoled Caitlin. Just try your best pulling a goods train, and you'll eventually get used to it, and it's just like pulling coaches. And that made Connor feel a bit better. As Connor popped into Napper Yard, he noticed the long goods train ready and waiting for him on the side near the water tower. This doesn't look too bad, he said to himself. I mean, they're freight cars. Rolling stock, that is, of course, just like coaches. They won't go anywhere. That's right, Connor replied as driver. Now come on. You need to get going or else you'll be late. Connor soon left the yard pulling the goods train. The other engines couldn't believe what they're seeing. They have never seen a streamlined engine pulling a goods train before. Pretty soon, Connor was enjoying himself as he pulled the goods train down the main line and eventually arrived at Vickerstown Station just in time, which Tom Hat was waiting. Ah, Connor, you arrived just in time. I sure did. It was a sitch pulling this goods train. Well, what do you know? Exclaimed Douglas. A streamlined engine pulling a goods train? That's something you don't see very often. Caitlin was very impressed. So was Connor's driver. Well done, my boy, he said quietly. And this made Connor feel very proud. The following day after that, Connor was sent to take some troublesome trucks to the quarry. Salty noticed this and decided to give Connor a warning. Be careful, Connor, he warned. Those are troublesome trucks. The reason why they're called that is because, well, you know, they're troublesome. They can hold you back or even bump you until you come off the rails. The trucks had never seen an engine like Connor before, as well as, of course, never been pulled by a streamlined engine like him either. So they decided to play a trick on Connor. So they slipped the brakes on tight, and as Connor began to move forward, he noticed that he was slowing down. What's going on? He asked. The trucks are holding you back by putting the brakes on, replied Salty. Come on, you silly trucks. Leave your brakes off. Oh, you hear that? Said Scruffy to the other trucks. Leave our brakes off, everyone. And so they did, causing Connor to shout forward. Uh-oh, Connor, watch out for... So, how's that? Chuckled Scruffy. Oh, sorry, Wilbert. The trucks caused me to get caught up in all of this. It's quite all right, chuckled Wilbert. These things happen. A couple of hours later, the accident was soon cleaned up and Connor was placed back on the track. But his front was badly damaged and was going to need some major repairs. But luckily, he was able to still move. so he puffed away to the steamworks to get prepared. That afternoon, Connor was heading back to the mainland. Let's just hope this will be the last time I'll ever be pulling goods trains and trucks, he said to himself, especially after what happened today. But unfortunately, it wasn't the last time, as Connor was sent to take some trucks full of coal to the mainland, and he was having a hard time getting them going, until Logan popped up with Hector from behind. "Hello, Connor. If you're having trouble with the trucks, why don't you include Hector? And if you do, you'll see that Hector has the ability to make sure the trucks are in good order and also in line, and of course, making certain that they are well behaved and less troublesome." So Hector was placed at the back of Connor's train, and the trucks immediately became well behaved and less troublesome once they see him, and Connor was able to pull up the coaling plant without any struggle. That afternoon, Connor was backing Hector onto the siding before heading back to Vickerstown. "So, how'd it go?" asked Logan. "Was Hector a huge help to you?" "He sure was," replied Connor. "I made it on time, and if it weren't for him, I wouldn't have. Thank you, Hector. Just doing my job of making certain that trucks are well behaved as well as in good order," he chuckled. And Connor had to agree on what Hector just uttered. The next day, Connor was sent to take some trucks back to Bradford station, but he was worried that they might cause trouble, until Samson popped up next to him onto the siding. "If you're worried about your trucks being troublesome," he told him, "you can borrow my brake van Bradford. He'll make sure that those trucks of yours are in good order as well as, of course, very well behaved." "That's right, Samson. Take me along with you, Connor, so I can show you how I deal with troublesome trucks like yours." "Just like Hector?" he asked. "Oh, more than Hector," replied Bradford. "You'll see how I deal with troublesome trucks like those, just like Hector, but in a different but better way." Once Bradford was coupled to the back of Connor's train, he opened his mouth and took a deep breath. The trucks laughed and laughed until Bradford spoke up. "Ahem." The trucks immediately felt silent and looked over at Bradford and began to listen. "On our way towards Bradford, there won't be any more mischief of any kind, as well as bumping. But we like bumping. Not on my watch, that is. If I see any of you causing trouble to Connor, as well as bumping him or holding him back, there will be serious consequences for your actions." The trucks had no other choice to be well behaved while Bradford was around them. Connor was very impressed on what he had seen, as he was able to get out of Wyndham Docks on his way towards Bradford. The week pressed on as Connor was soon enjoying pulling goods trains and freight cars. But he was beginning to miss pulling coaches like a proper streamlined engine does. But thankfully, today's the last day where Connor was about to pull cars again, as he was sent to take some trucks full of clay out on Thomas's branch line. The trucks laughed and laughed. This gave Connor an idea on how to make them well behave themselves. So he took a deep breath and spoke up very, very loudly. "Attention!" The trucks immediately fell silent and began to listen to Connor. "Now you all listen. On the way to Thomas's branch line, there won't be any more mischief, including holding back or any bumping. If any of that happens, I'll push you right off the rails on the way." And with that, Connor puffed out the clay pits. The other rangers couldn't believe what they have seen. "Did you see that?" exclaimed Derek. "Connor really told those trucks off to be well behaved himself." "I did see that," replied Timothy. "It was so surprising." Connor felt very proud and impressed of himself as he puffed through the docks on what he did to the trucks, just like Bradford did to them. But the following week, Connor was once again back to pulling coaches. Although he didn't enjoy pulling goods trains and freight cars, he still prefers to do his old job of pulling passengers, no matter what, and wouldn't trade it for anything else.